Season 2, Episode 3 of High Class Individuals, and guess who's back? Listen in action.
I'm here. I'm here.
What's your name, man?
Knock it off, man.
Que Franko, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, welcome back, man. And today we got a special guest, man.
So special.
Special guest and a special story, man. We're going to call it the story of Mama Miller. Everybody welcome Mama Miller, y'all. Yeah.
Welcome, Mama Miller.
Hello, everybody.
Let's go, let's go. So we're going to get right into it. We ain't going to waste no time. Mama Miller, we are in the Chicagoland area, but where are you originally from, and how was the childhood growing up, and how's the streets of Kansas City, Missouri?
Okay, I was born in Chicago. My parents had 4 children. They relocated us to Kansas City when I was like in the 1st grade. Kansas City at that time was a better place for educating children and growing, because the crime rate was really low. Mm-hmm. And it was around the time not far after Martin Luther King was killed, so it still had the gangs and the rioting and things like that.
Okay.
And Kansas City, like I said, is like a kind of like a country town, but not a smaller city, a city. And things were different. We grew up at a time where you can go to the park in the summertime, and they had all these free activities. They gave you free lunches, took you on field trips. We had softball teams. We used to travel and play against other teams, and it was nice. It was cool.
So, coming from Chicago and then going to Kansas City, usually you hear vice versa, man. Usually you hear people from the down south going to Chicago, but it's kind of like you guys went reverse on that. So basically, you could notice that it was a better environment once you went to Kansas City?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into this. I keep hearing about it, never heard the story fully, but how old were you when this, what was the surroundings, what was the situation when this attempted kidnapping? What was that about?
I had just turned 16, had just gotten my driver's license, and my best friend, we had walked to the store. Where we lived, down the street was a college called Rockhurst College. It was a private college. And around the corner from there was the University of Missouri. So there was always college students up and down the street, partying, just, traveling, and they lived in houses in certain areas around there off campus. So this particular night, we were talking about a concert that was coming up, and I saw this guy coming toward us, and then a car pulled up, and we were probably 20 steps from the corner, and the car stopped, and he just grabbed my friend and drug her in his car. And you always say what you would do if somebody would do something like that to you, but you don't know until the time happened. Mm-hmm. I froze. I just stood there and literally watched him pull her in this car. And it took me about 3 minutes to snap out of it, and I ran. And when we found her, or when we discovered the next day, he had taken her to a house not that far from where we were. They raped her, and multiple times. They gave her this script, told her, if anybody asks, you moved here from California and you're going to go to school to be a journalist. Your parents died when you were young, blah, blah, blah. So later that night, she escaped. And when she got out, she ran across the street, and later we found out the first house she was going to go to was the house where the other person lived. So she was rescued the next day. But that affected me. That traumatized me to this day. I don't let people walk up on me. You know how you might be somewhere and somebody say, "Miss, stop right there. You can't come close," because that's going to always be embedded in my memory. If I'm out in a restaurant or a club or anything, I have to see what's going on around me. I need to see the door, So I like to keep my back to the wall.
This happened.
Go ahead.
This happened in Kansas City?
Yes.
So the place that you thought was safe didn't turn out to be safe at all.
There's no safe place in the world.
Amen to that.
Everybody have their share of crime, just to a lesser degree in some places than other. That's it.
Did the guy ever get prosecuted for this?
Yeah, he went to jail. Only one did. I couldn't identify the other one, and she couldn't either. But we couldn't. They knew who he was, but they needed us to identify him. We couldn't. He never got out the car, and it was dark outside, so I couldn't see him. I just saw the person that was walking.
So after this situation happened to that young lady, did you guys still have a relationship?
It's so sad because after that she started using drugs. I think she became a prostitute, and to this day I think she's deceased because nobody that we knew have seen her in years.
Wow.
So I watched her life just go. She was in school. She was going to modeling school. She wanted to be a model, and I just watched her life in a matter of a couple of months just go downhill.
Wow. So with that being said, that was at the age of 16. What happened with life after that? Did you go to college, complete high school? How was that for you?
I completed high school, went away to college for a year. College was hard. I had fun in school, so I kind of didn't go back. Then I went to South Carolina after that and stayed a year with my oldest brother. And I went back to Kansas City, and then I've been in Chicago ever since I was 21.
Okay. So in Kansas City, you had no kids or nothing like that?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, let's speed things up real quick. Incarceration. How did that play out? Did you ever think that you would be incarcerated? When you were incarcerated, you say, hell, how the hell did I get here? Like, how was that for you?
Okay, let's go back a little bit farther, back to Kansas City. When I was younger, when we first moved to Kansas City, I would say probably I might have been 13, 14. My oldest brother molested me. And I never told anybody. And I think I don't know if he threatened me or what, I didn't remember. But after I got older and he stopped, I kind of, in order to protect myself, I assumed that was the reason. I kind of suppressed it in my subconscious, and I forgot about it. So now we can go back to Chicago. We used to hang out and party and things like that. It was a person that I had met. I used to wear a lot of jewelry, like gold jewelry, and he stole the jewelry from me. We had an altercation, and I shot him. I served time for it, so nobody can do anything to me now. Double jeopardy. So it's over with. And plus I had witnesses that saw me do it, so that's how I ended up doing the time. So I shot him. I'm like, how you gonna take my stuff and then you wanna talk crazy to me? No, we ain't doing all of that. But
did he live?
He lived, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. When I went to court, his father did not want them to prosecute me.
Yeah,
because they knew what kind of son they had.
Wow.
So
you had to go to jail first. Were you bonded out of jail? Did you just sit in jail?
No. The first time when I was arrested, I think I sat in jail for a couple of weeks and until they gave me a bond because I had $100,000 bond. I got out. We filed my case from the street. Lost the case. I had to go back in for a little while, but that was county, and they did the appeal, and I still ended up getting convicted. I mean, they upheld the conviction.
What was that like for you? Like, just if you could remember, like the first time being locked up, right? Even in the county, so you were fighting your case, but obviously this is your first time being incarcerated.
I was scared as hell.
Yeah.
I don't, because that wasn't my lifestyle at the time. I had a nice job, even though I used to go out a lot. All of my friends were like professional people. And my aunt, who's like a mother to me, she's a very professional person, and she, she kind of wanted to keep it undercover, but that's what they do, right?
That's what they do. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell anybody. But as I've gotten older, and I've come to terms with me what I during the time, it doesn't bother me anymore. It's not something that I just bring up, but it was frightening, and somebody I knew somebody in there, and they got in contact with somebody and said, look out for her, because that's not her environment, and somebody did. So I didn't have any altercations or anything with anybody during that time. So in that process, I got pregnant with my son and had my son while I was fighting my case. So by the time I ended up going in to do that time, my son was born, and he was like 2 or 3 at the time.
How much time did they give you?
8 years. I did 4. I probably did, because they gave me time served, which wasn't that much. So I probably did like 3.5. I went to Dwight. Then they sent me, by the grace of God. It was just, I believe in God. Do you believe in God? so I get to Dwight and everything, and I'm paranoid, because now I said, I thought y'all told me it was women here, because some of the women, that are were kind of masculine, and I was like, oh my God, this men here, and I didn't, but they's like, no, those are women. But as time went on, I started meeting people, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought people just automatically just come and just, mess with you, but it wasn't that bad. And then I was able to transfer from the maximum security to a minimum security, and I went to Kankakee. And that was just like open field, they let the visits bring food and things like that, so it wasn't so bad. I went to school, learned how to do hair while I was there, because they was trying to get me to work in the kitchen. I'm not working in the kitchen. I'm not working in the kitchen, and you telling me to get on my hands and knees with a toothbrush and get, oh, no.
Man.
So what was it like on you mentally? So, first time being incarcerated, new mother, you got to do X amount of years, but you can't spend that quality time with your child.
It hurt. Yeah. It hurt so bad, because I love my son to pieces, and I couldn't be with him. They did bring him to visit, but it mentally, and it was really bad, because probably like 3 or 4 months in, it was in the summer, and I was trying to call people, and everybody was doing something. Nobody was home to take my phone call, and the more I couldn't get in touch with anybody, the more upset I became. And so I finally got in touch with my mother, and I gave it to her. I was like, I'm in here, woo, woo. And my mother bust out and started crying. She said, I am so sorry. If I could do anything, I would help you. I can't do anything. And after that, I felt so bad. I felt really guilty, because I was trying to blame everybody for that mistake that I made, and from that day on I had to have a different mindset, because one thing I say, if you don't do the time, it will do you.
Yeah.
And if you look around and see people want to take psych drugs so they don't have, so they can get out, they can take their mind out of that situation, that's what they do. Yeah. And they sell it to each other and stuff like that. So so I couldn't go out like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we I don't know if you know, but we share similar paths, right? So I've been incarcerated before, and when I just asked you that question about how did it play on you mentally being a new mom, it weighed on me heavy, because I'm a good dad. So I'll just share an experience with you. My first time incarcerated was 2013. My son was 3, and this was his first time coming to visit me while I was incarcerated. But my mom, baby mom, will say like, your dad in school. So this was my very first visit. I don't even know all the rules yet. So my son's like, Daddy, I got to go use the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, cool, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking him to use the bathroom, and the guard like, nah, you can't take him. You know what I'm saying? Your mom got to do it. And that was another, it was like a gut-wrenching moment. Like, damn, I can't even take my son to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hurt my heart. Even though something so small, it's just like we just used to doing us, right, out in the world. And then when you get incarcerated, everything that you once did is it's on pause. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely can relate to some of those mental struggles that you go through as a parent being incarcerated.
It is mental.
Yeah.
One of the advantages to where I was at the time, and I know they don't do it anymore, they used to have weekends where you can bring your child in, and they had like a camping ground, and they set up tents for the weekend for the mother and the child so they can have this bonding thing. So we were able to do that one year, and that was good. But the thing that when it was real close to the time for me to come home, they brought my baby to see me, and he was like, they were like, come on, we getting ready to go. He was like, no, I'm staying here with my mama. And they were like, no, come on, we have to go. He said, I stay with, and he threw a temper tantrum. Everybody in the visiting room cried because I was crying, he was crying. No, I'm staying with my mama. I'm like, come on now, we did this. It's just a few more weeks, hold on. No, I'm staying. So yeah, things like that, and then you see other parents have experiences in the visiting room with their children, because of the separation. It's kind of sad, I didn't intentionally, shoot him. We had that. We were wrestling over the gun because he stole all my jewelry and some money, and then when I asked him for it, he cursed at me and called me out my name. You took my stuff, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that? No. So I had to at least, try to scare him, or put a little fear in him, and say, let me go and get this person her stuff back. You don't want to do that. So.
Can I ask you something? Going back to like the whole jail stay and like going inside of prison, how did you maintain your property that you did own, or did you lose that property while being incarcerated? Say, for instance, like a car or a house. Did you lose it all, clothes? Well,
at that time, I didn't have a house, which was good. And just the biggest thing for me was, my jewelry and clothes, because, I'm clothes. I love clothes, shoes. My family maintained that stuff for me. So.
I got a question for you. So you spent, a few years locked up. So can you tell us what that feeling was like when they said, Miller, pack it up?
Whew. I wanted to kiss the ground when I wanted to kiss the ground. That's just a unexplainable feeling. Man, it was good. You see a lot in there. There's a lot of things that go on. It's just a wild experience. You have to go in, and you have to know people, but getting real close with people, because I had a friend that OD'd on heroin while she was incarcerated. And how did you get some heroin? You locked up. But I don't know how she got it, but she did.
Wow.
Do you still affiliate with anybody that you met during your incarceration?
No. I've seen a few people on the street since I've been out, and hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm a professional person. Not to say that would keep me from, but I don't run the streets and sell drugs and things like that. And, that was the lifestyle of most of the people that I really hung out with while I was there. I learned to do hair, so that was the going thing for a female. You got to get your hair done. So.
Wow. So transitioning from prison for 3.5 years and then coming out to the world, was it anything different? Was cars different? Was telephone devices different?
Was the air different?
Yeah. Yeah, the air was different. Because cell phones were more advanced at the time. When I went in, they had well, they had gotten away from the big phones, but they still had the flip phones and whatever. So yeah, technology was definitely different. Computers were more prevalent. When I came out, I kind of like went into this little shell, you know. It was like, I felt like when I walked down the street, I had a sign on my back that said I just got out, you know, and that I had to overcome that, and, you know, just me, yeah, the thing about it was I had to accept inside of me what happened, where I've been, and live with it. Because, you know, you hear some people are judgmental about people that have gone to jail. Have you had that experience?
Yeah.
You know, people judge you differently. They don't know you, but just because you did this. And my parole, I'm gonna tell you how messed up it was, because the judge told me, he said, if you had a bench trial, I wouldn't have convicted you. And now I'm like, wow, you know. And then you go back to the fact that the father said, you know, I don't think she should be held responsible, because, you know, you got a jacked up son. And then, I don't know, I just, you know, just the fact that people like to judge. And I took that I took that to heart. It took me a while to get past it, you know. I had, before I went in, I was an LPN, and so naturally the state took my license. And when I got out, I went back to school and became an RN. So that's what I do.
Did that felony block you from certain type of jobs, or?
I don't lie about it. When I put in a job application, I always put that conviction down. But it's been, what now? About 20 years or longer than 20 years. So, you know, it's so far in my history, you know. And then I don't jump jobs. I stay in places. But yeah, one place told me, you know, your background we got your background and there's something in there. I'm like, yeah, I put it on my application. So she said, you know, I'm gonna pull your file, and if it's not there, I'm gonna have to let you go. It was there, because, you know, I don't lie about that. So.
And I want to educate people real quick. I want to let them know that an arrest record is separate from an actual conviction record. I remember back in 2016, I caught a case in 2011, beat the case. And 2016, I went to apply for a job, and they said, hey, something came up on your record. I showed them the court dismissal paper, and they still didn't accept it because that arrest record was there. So I want to make people aware that if you beat a case, it still is an arrest record out there, and it's probably, I mean, every year they do something where you get it expunged for free, but usually it's like $500. And I feel like the judicial system is messed up, because if you beat a case, I feel like that arrest record should go away too.
I thought it did. It doesn't.
And that in 2016. I don't know if it did now, but and people, y'all gotta understand, man. Y'all can walk outside the door. Somebody can accuse you of something, and now you're arrested.
Yeah,
That's true.
But, and that's just as an occasional purposes only.
But I'm gonna say this as well. So when I met my parole officer, when I got out that time, you know, he looked at my my file. He was like, somebody got promoted at your expense, you know, because he said, it don't look like you should have ever went to jail for this. So I'm like, now, you know, that don't make me feel good either, you know. But I think I stayed on parole for 3 months, and I wrote to the board, asked, you know, to get off parole early, because I had like 4 years to do for parole, and they granted my they granted it. So I only stayed on parole for like 4 or 5 months when I got out.
You just taught me something. I got 3 years of parole. I might need to send a letter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially if you're doing something for yourself. But hey.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you about, you said you were in the white, that was a max, and then they moved you to Kankakee. So that was a, what do they call it, cuz? Not a max, but not medium, but
Minimum.
Minimum. That was a minimum facility. So you were basically like on a farm type of deal?
we didn't have to do any farm work, but it was like a forest preserve, really. It was the building, and all around is like trees and grass. It's like, yeah, like being in the forest preserve.
Wow. So was you like in like a dormitory area?
It was kind of like a dorm, set up like a dorm, but they were much more lenient than being in Dwight and the Max, because you know you have the fence, the wire fence all around, but there they didn't have that.
Wow. That's Southern hospitality, everybody.
It was.
I know a little bit about cake and keep myself.
That was gravy. If you been incarcerated, that was gravy, sure.
You was on the farm too, right?
I don't equate jail to Southern hospitality, but okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? To each his own.
But, I mean, you kind of free. You know, you out there, you ain't shackled up. You don't see a fence. You can try to cross a gun line if you want to.
No.
And the thing about it, I went to school for cosmetology, so every day, Monday through Friday, they transported me from there back to Dwight to go to school.
Wow.
So I got away every day.
That's good.
So that's why I say I believe in God, you know, because I was charged with attempt murder. There's no way I should have been minimum security. I was supposed to be still maximum security person, but I don't know what happened. I just say it was just a blessing. God blessed me that I ended up on a minimum security facility.
Right.
I should have still been a maximum security.
What did you have? Did you have a lawyer or a PD?
I had a lawyer. And the last day I went to court, he did not show up. I said if I ever saw him again, I would curse him out. You know.
He knew what was going to happen.
He knew, but yeah, because that day they took me into custody and everything, and you know, and I was like, I have a son, you know, like that made a difference. What about my son? I fell on the floor. I threw a temper tantrum. I was like, my son. And, you know, it was just, that mental. They go back to the mental.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say something about the difference between a PD and a lawyer, and what I suggest. So a public defender is a lawyer. A lot of people you know, talk crap about them or whatever. Lawyers are okay, but nobody's gonna fight the case like you gonna fight your own case.
Educate yourself.
Unfortunately, I went through my fair share with the legal system, with the judicial system, criminal judicial system, and man, anytime I ever beat it, which was damn near all the times. One time I had a lawyer when I was a juvenile, but as an adult, I had to get in the books and study my own thing. I remember the PD was just like, cop out, take the plea. And I'm like, man, it wasn't no prison time that they was talking about, but I didn't want no felonies. So I had read at the time that this particular county had a second chance program that nobody else had. So I was eligible for the second chance program, did that, completed it, I think it was like for a year, don't do no drugs or whatever, and then that was it. So, I mean, I want to tell people out there, man, that is fighting the case, or you got family that's fighting the case, don't put your life in the hands of somebody else who don't fucking know you.
Amen. For real, because somebody had told me, get in the law library, help him fight your case. I'm like, we paying this man a lot of money, you know, and I trusted him. And I shouldn't have, but I did. So I know if I would never catch. I can't. You never say never, because I never thought I would catch them. But if I ever caught another one, I know what to do. You know, you have to stay on top of that, because people don't care about you like they care about themselves. You have to participate.
I think a lot of people get discouraged a lot of people that attempt to read law that are incarcerated or fight in the case, they get discouraged because they don't understand that language. But I think that's it's like that when you're doing anything new, right? Something it's intimidating, it's scary, but if you just continue to put in that effort and words that you don't understand, grab a dictionary, look it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I know when I first read law when I was locked up, I'm like, man, what the hell am I reading? You know what I'm saying? But as I read it, it started to make more and more sense. You know what I'm saying? So I just would like to encourage people to do that.
Yeah, and they have people that work in the law library to help you out. Yeah. You know, that's familiar with that. That usually they're inmates, and they've been in there for a long time, and they know the law. Yeah. So they'll help you.
You got some shysters in there too that work in the law library. I ran across a couple of them.
What do you mean by that? What do you?
Man, listen, I was guilty for what I did. I shot somebody, and took the time, and I made it to the joint. And guys promote other guys. So people are promoting this guy. Oh, he working in law library, he good. So I'm having conversations with him. So he telling me, I explained my case to him pretty much, and he telling me like, oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong. So I'm like, okay, well, can you show me that in case law? You know what I'm saying? So he like, yeah, I can. So I'm saying like, you're gonna show me in black and white. This is exactly, you know what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be. Okay. So he getting case law for me, print it up, and I'm reading it. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, I've read case law, so I'm familiar. I'll say that. So I'm reading, and then like I come back to him and I tell him exactly what I read. And I can remember one time he told me, why are you reading it so literally? I'm like, we done. What you mean? Why am I reading it literally? The courts are gonna read it literally. You know what I'm saying? It was over with. And I had paid this dude like, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount of money. I had my family cash out the money. Now at this point, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I need my money back. I say, matter of fact, I'm gonna be cool about it. I think I probably sent him like 200 or 250. I say, bro, just give me half. I did that so we wouldn't have no problem. Give me half my money back. You can keep the rest, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he still dragged his feet. I had to get on this man's ass on the yard, and he finally sent my paper. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have went to that. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for them guys, man.
Wow. I want to ask you this. You was in Cook County? Cook County Jail or the white maximum facility? Which was worse? Which was better?
The county all day long.
It was better or worse?
Worse.
Yeah.
You know it is. It go without saying. Right. Everybody come in the county. They come in, they be sick, they be dope sick, they be people that haven't had baths in a long time and they stink. They have sores dripping. Yes, the county is worse by far. And everybody kept telling me, you'll be okay once you get to Dwight. And I'm like, how? That's the penitentiary, you know? And that word penitentiary is very threatening. You know, you be like, oh, it's the big house. But when it comes time to being, no.
You think that some people plead out just to get to the pen? So they can get away from the county life?
I've heard of that, yes. I've heard of that. Especially if they know they're guilty.
Wow. Wow.
And some of them come in, they was like, it's just like me. After I came, when I lost my appeal and they took me back in, they were like, you want to leave right away as soon as I can. I don't want to stay here a day longer than I have to. Let me just go ahead and start this and get it over with, because I don't want to be here with these people that's dope sick. They throwing up all over the place. They come in with sores that's oozing. No, just send me somewhere.
Were they smoking cigarettes in the white? Wow. So I wonder when did the cigarettes stop?
The 90s.
Yeah.
You can't smoke cigarettes anymore?
No, that's so good.
Oh,
when they changed the law out here for people to stop smoking in restaurants and public domains, that's when that transitioned, I believe, around that time.
That kind of makes sense because the hospitals did it. But at the time that I was there, I was smoking. I quit smoking. Actually, I quit smoking like 4 months before it was time for me to come home. People say, when you're under stress, it's hard to quit. I woke up one morning and I said, today is the day. And I went cold turkey. I never had a cigarette after that day.
All right, let's get into this nursing thing.
Right, I was just going to say, so yeah, Mama Miller, we kind of shined a little light on a mistake that was made in your life, right? And we talked about the downs, but what does life look like for you? Like, give words of encouragement, like, you know, because when you are a felon and you get out, you probably think it's the end of the world, right? But it's not.
I did for a while. Like I said, it took me a while, but I just say this: anybody that, you know, and I've heard people use being incarcerated as an excuse for not, you know, doing anything positive with their life, and that's just not true. I feel like, you know, even with that, you can do some things to make yourself shine. And, you know, I went back to school, and people see you, whether you know it or not. Even strangers, they see you. And I feel like if a person have been incarcerated, that, especially if you have faith in God, you can do anything you want to do. I don't think that should be the one thing in your life, or that mistake that you made should be the thing that keep you from your dreams, or motivating other people. And I find myself, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be at this time, because through my nursing career, I have been able to talk to people and give them advice and help them. And I just think that was the call on my life at that time that God had for me. I don't think too many people that know me would believe that I've gone through the things that I've gone through. But I have one friend. We went to college together when I first came out of high school. And he keep telling me, "You're the only person I know that has been through everything that you've gone through, and you can still smile." And I'm like, okay. But, he's been an encouragement to me as well. But I just say, do not allow that experience to hinder what you have in front of you.
Now, there's been talks, I know Koya has mentioned it a few times, about possibilities of you writing a book. Do you see that in the future for you?
I'm going to do it because that friend that I went to college with is the person that put that idea in my head. It's been a while, and at first I kept saying, "Oh yeah, and now he's been very persistent about it. So I'm like, maybe I should, because famous people write books about their lives all the time, but I think my life is a lot more fascinating than most of those people, Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Coming soon. What was I gonna say? So did you ever touch back down to Kansas City? Like, you know what, I'm done with Chicago. Let me go back home. Let me go back to Kansas City real quick.
I always considered Chicago as home because I was born here. I moved to Kansas City with my parents, but when I turned 21, I came back to Chicago. Inside of me, I told myself when we left, I'm coming back one day. So that's what I did. I love it here.
What year do you think that Kansas City changed for the worse? What year do you think that was?
I want to say maybe in the 90s, when drugs started really spreading through different other states in the United States. Because now Kansas City is like, I don't like going there like I used to, because all the houses are unkept. There's so much crime like it is everywhere else. And because Kansas City is a small city, you hear about it, or it has a bigger effect than it does in a city like Chicago, because news get lost in a big city like this, where it doesn't get lost so much in a smaller city.
Right. I want to tell people, man, I've been to Kansas City, Missouri myself.
Tell us about the story, Doug.
So Kevin is like my other son, right? So we took him to Kansas City once.
I heard
he had
the story.
experience.
I heard. Tell the people, cuz.
Let me tell y'all, man, that place is heavily Los Angeles, California based, man. I thought they was riding horses out there. That ain't what's happening, man. It's damn near like a little village, Chicago. It's up there, man. They can definitely be on the map for a lot of shit. I was just telling Koya not too long ago. What year did we go down there? That was when Auntie Rhonda died.
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, around 15.
2015. I had seen nobody doing cocaine out here in the Chicagoland area. When I went out to Kansas City, I went to a little party. We ain't gonna say no names, but I seen the most beautifulest women doing cocaine. I knew that people did cocaine, but I mean, they was doing it just like it was like normal, and that shit wasn't normal out here. People was just smoking weed that I seen. So I mean, I'm like, man, they up to date. It's just different places, man, offer different shit. With that being said, man, I had got drunk as hell in Kansas City. Woke up on top of a car. All my money was in my pocket, and then I woke up and I said, okay, cool, I'm in Harvey. So, so I get to walking home, and I said, okay, this don't look like Harvey. This looks like Matson, Illinois. So I'm walking down the street, and then my heart gets to beating real fast because I'm realizing, like, yo, this shit don't look like Matson, Illinois no more. It kind of look like Harvey. I go to the closest gas station. I hear this dude country ass accent. What is the accent? And I said, oh my God. And I just get to running down the street.
Where you running to, cuz?
I running back to where I come from. I'm trying to find this car again. So now I know it's a lot of crime going on Kansas City. What street was on? We was on 51st, right?
53rd.
I know a little bit. I remember. And I'm seeing cars. I know some beef in the area. So I'm seeing cars come down the street. Every car I see come down the street. I'm down there hiding behind bushes and shit. I'm looking like Smokey and shit. I'm not finna get killed by a blood. I'm not finna get killed by a Crip. I don't know these niggas. So, but I found my way back home, man. And hey, Koya, I do need a shot. This is the podcast, baby. High class individuals. We ain't done yet. We gonna have some fun. So, boom. Anyway, Kansas City turns for the worse because of the drug epidemic. Mm-hmm. I think that every state in America must have got hit with a drug epidemic in the late 80s or the 90s. I'm not going to say anything about who I think did that, but they planned it very well.
President.
Saying that.
Well, I'm going to say the other thing, too, is around that time, I think it was the blood came from the California area and infiltrated Kansas City as well. So then the gang activity started to increase as well. And back then it wasn't like that. You know, you might have some small little neighborhood gangs, but then when the Bloods infiltrated Kansas City, that made it worse as well.
Why do you think that a Midwest, well, maybe Corey, you can answer this from the background. Why do you think that a Midwest state is so West Coast influenced? Why do you think about it? What is that coming from?
Money is money. If you make it, you can make it. If you can go out in the middle of the cornfield and make $100,000, you think some people not gonna set up camp in the middle of the cornfield?
People from Chicago do it all the time. Go to Peoria, Springfield,
Memphis.
Yeah.
You know, and people start using drugs, and now they don't take care of their property, don't take care of your kids. So, you know, and it was probably introduced when that gang, or you know, that's what I heard, that it was the Blood, but it was probably other gangs as well. But when they brought the drugs in on a larger scale than what was already happening, it just made the situation worse, because now, you know, it's, you know, more people using, the more people that's using, the high, you know, the crime rate's gonna go up, because if you can't afford that habit, you're gonna steal, you're gonna rob, you're gonna do whatever it takes to feed that habit. You know that.
Do we think we can get Kansas City back to where you seen it at first originally, or you think it's just a wrap?
I think when the rest of the world is cleaned up, then Kansas City will be cleaned up, and I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, because it's getting worse. Mm-hmm. And then now we have another problem, so you know, another world problem that's bad by itself. So,
right,
you know, it's not time yet.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask. We're going to touch on your incarceration real quick. I just want to know, because I don't have any like amazing, crazy stories that I saw while I was locked up. I really don't. And maybe that is a testament to God. I know He protected me for sure, but I just never seen nothing crazy for real. Fight here and there, and that's it. But was there anything that you ever saw that was just like so crazy during your time, or?
I know the inmates used to have sex with the guards.
That happens.
Yeah, I know that used to happen. You know, I didn't see it happen, but you know, when you're in jail, there's no secrets.
Yeah. A big thing for guys, right? So like before I was incarcerated, you'll see on TV all the time. Well, I speak for me. I see on TV all the time. Whether it's a movie or a TV show. There's always conversation of somebody getting raped, right? And I just I couldn't witness that. I can't attest to it. So my question to you is, was that a thing in the females facility?
I never ran across that. I've heard of it in the guys' facility though, especially guys that come in on a rape charge or something like that. But I didn't see it in the female. You know, it's a little harder to have sex with another female than it is with a male.
I heard crazy stories like they stick brooms up women. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me ask somebody who's been through it.
No, I never heard that happen during the time that I was incarcerated.
That's good.
But I did hear a lot about the officers and different inmates and things like that.
Yeah.
Is the white still open?
No. They closed it down some years ago. I don't know how many years, but it's been some years. I don't know why they closed that place down, because that was the only female penitentiary in the state of Illinois. So when they had to ship them out, they're mixed now. The other facilities are mixed.
I know they got Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln on Logan now. It used to be Lincoln, now it's Logan. Yeah.
Yeah, Logan the main one. Let's go back into this transition into the nurses, to the nurse's office. Yeah.
Okay.
What would you tell a person that wants to become? First of all, everybody's a CNA.
I was never a CNA, and I'm not knocking the CNAs. I tip my hat to them because they work hard. Okay, so back to your question.
Can you skip being a CNA?
No. Never.
So how were you able to do this? You say you was never a CNA, right? I can skip being a CNA and become a registered nurse, right? If I want to.
Not today, because they've changed the requirements. When I first got into nursing, they had the CNA classes incorporated in the nursing program. Now, they want you to pay. Well, the last time I heard was a few years ago. It was like $1,000 to take the class. I'm quite sure it's more than that now, but you have to take the CNA class to get in the program.
Man, it's a lot of CNAs out there, man.
What was life like during COVID for you? Because you were in the nursing field then, right? How was that? I was locked up during COVID, so I'm asking because I only know what I saw on TV.
I'm gonna say this. I've been a nurse for a little over 20 years. I've worked in hospitals. I've stayed away from the nursing homes for the most part, but I have worked in a nursing home. And I've worked in, different environments of nursing. I've dealt with psych patients or whatever, but I'm an old school nurse. And when COVID came, it was just, okay, it's another virus. I've dealt with MRSA, C. diff, VRE, multi-resistant diseases. It's just another bacteria to me. I'm gonna protect myself, prevent the spread, and keep it moving. So it was just another bacteria that just came to surface. It's just one more to add with the other ones that's come, and it's under control, and we wait for the next one because another one is coming. Yeah. It's coming.
When they want to put it out. But anyway, we ain't gonna get banned from here, so we ain't gonna talk about COVID too much. But when you in the in that field, the money don't slow down for you. You probably got a lot of money doing that.
I worked every day. I was jealous of the people that got to work from home. I couldn't work from home. I was jealous. But I worked every day.
And then you got some lazy people that actually got fired working from home.
That's bad. I didn't really hear about that, but that's bad.
I know some people who didn't even want to go to work. I said, go downstairs and get on that computer.
Wow.
They ain't even want to do it.
Wow.
How lazy can you get, man? America makes it so sweet for us, man. Some people need to go to a third world country and see how it really is.
You're right.
But
we'll go to jail. Yeah. That might work.
I don't understand why people don't want to work anymore. The area that I work in, there's a lot of restaurants around there, and I've seen 2 or 3 close because they couldn't get people to come to work.
Maybe they're not paying enough.
Yeah.
McDonald's starting out with $16 an hour. When have you known McDonald's will start out with $16 an hour?
That's true, but if you look at that on a bi-weekly scale or a weekly scale, whenever you get, I mean, like by the time you get your check, you got to pay this bill. So you kind of feel like
What
maybe,
about the teenagers that's still in school and live
no,
with
for
their
sure.
parents? You know,
I'm
that's
with you.
the perfect opportunity
Hell yeah.
to buy your weed and get your nails done.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
No, just times have changed, so there's other options to get money. A lot of people on the
And
entrepreneur
that, yeah.
So it's closing the businesses down.
But for those who are not on the entrepreneur, who want to be lazy,
Right.
You better get up and go flip some burgers at McDonald's then.
You remember that summer Collier got you and Collier and I think John got a son working at got a job working at those where?
Elko.
Elko, and y'all got fired because y'all had too much education.
I'm let me tell y'all something what a job is. A job will put you around some of the most fucked up people that you ever want to meet. I ain't gonna even say this man's name, but we had a little term for these people, a little word, bottomage.
Yep.
And right then and there, working at that facility, that was a factory, right? Cuz warehouse. And it was some off-brand ass detergent that we was fucking with and shit, and cooking products and whatever. Man, we was working with some fucked up individuals. Me personally, y'all, if you have other avenues to create some revenue for yourself, go ahead and do it. Because when you put yourself in a job, now you're exposing yourself to somebody's attitude because they got into it with their baby daddy, baby mama. They can't pay their bills. You know, they lights is off. So now they bringing that attitude to work, and now you exposed to this shit, and you don't know how to handle it if you're not strong enough. So I just remember that job had really had us around some motherfucking some real life criminals. I mean, motherfuckers make mistakes, but man, niggas ain't no good.
Because they had just come out of work release, right? Or was going. They were in work release. They were in work release, and they fired y'all to hire them. That was funny.
And they was paying us some bullshit. How much was we getting paid, cuz?
It was under 10 for sure.
It was fun though. I ain't gonna lie. It was cool. It was fun. Big B got fired first, right?
That was at the candy plant because I was eating candy.
Hey, what's that in Mantino?
Yeah.
Damn, so I had worked at Mantino before. Yeah. Man, we was at this candy factory, man. And it was a little short time there. But they wanted us to set up like display boxes. I'm like, man, fuck this. Give me these M&Ms. I ain't know how to set up no fucking display. So, man, that was short-lived. But that was Mantino, man. Oh, man.
Kevin been anti-work all his life.
Has he? Because he's been working out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm anti-work for other people.
Oh, yeah.
It's only he'll go for a little while, but after a while.
Right let me tell you
but
something.
the one thing about it though, he gonna stack it up in that short period of time.
That's what he gonna do. That's his purpose.
I seen him.
Let me tell y'all something, man. If y'all want me at y'all fucking job, give me in the camera. If y'all want me at y'all fucking job for 8 hours, I'm only gonna work 2. With that being said, Mama Miller, do you want to say anything?
I'm gonna say this. Life is short. Enjoy it while you can. If you have that X on your back, don't let that discourage you. Pick up your cross and carry it. Life is short, and there's so much going on right now. You just gotta do what's best for you, and don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. How do you feel? I have to know.
I'm encouraged, right? Because doors have been opened up, you know what I'm saying, in my life. That's God. So, but, with that being said, this episode ain't about me. What I want to say to you is, on behalf of high class individuals, Kevin, this is my first time meeting you and you meeting me. I appreciate you for coming out, because I think today we've asked you to talk about some experiences that maybe you tried to put away, right? So we just asked you to relive some tough times in your life. And you didn't have to come in here and talk to us, right? But you did that. So I just want to say thank you for that, right? I want to give you your flowers. And that's how I feel.
Well, I'm gonna say to my other son.
Yes, ma'am.
Cause he's my other son.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
You hear him call me Mama Miller. Thank you for this opportunity, and I've never opened up about my life to anybody. So you were privileged.
Yes, ma'am.
And this, I think actually this is a turning point for me in my life, that God is getting ready to open up some more doors for me, because I've been through a lot. I've gone through a lot. I've recovered from a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't have. And the best thing that ever happened to me in my life was to have my son. I love him with all my heart. And I've never hid anything from him, you know, as far as my incarceration. When he was young, I think he was 3 or 4 when I went to jail. My family wanted to say, "Oh no, we're gonna tell him that you're in college and you'll be back." No, we're not gonna start his life out with a lie. Nobody will ever be able to go to him and tell him anything about his mama that he don't already know. So that's what I have to say.
I want to say this, man. High class individuals, and we'll take a celebrity. We ain't gonna refuse them now. Not saying that Mama Miller ain't a celebrity. Just know that everybody has a story. Get what I'm saying? And that is my goal. That is Que Franko's goal. He has a story, amazing story. Our goal is to interview regular people and shine light on that people. So now look, we touched on a negative situation that happened in her life, but now she is successful professional. High class individuals, season 2, episode 3. I go by the name of Richkid Kevo.
And I'm Que Franko.
And we out. Hey, let's go. Yeah.
I did it. I wasn't nervous either. I was kind of